Hey kids, are you an Xbox fanboy? Does your exclusive lineup look like this? Gamers, we now have a product for you that we know that you'll just love. It's called PlayStation. Yes, with PlayStation, you get a wide array of games, not just multiplats, but those mythical things which you used to get on your console called exclusives. PlayStation. What's good, YouTube? It's your host Axel Rose, the Shogun with the slogan, and you are now watching MVP Magazine. And yes, people, it is Switchmas, the season of goodwill and gaming. And yes, we're gonna talk about the Monday music. Let's go. After Nintendo's initial press briefing on the Switch, the future of the console was a little bit uncertain. But now that it's actually been released into the wild, I'm actually glad to say that the machine has been getting quite a few positive responses. Yes, it's been getting those mixed nuts reviews, we already know, pause. But it has been getting a lot of positive feedback. And for a console that's launching in 2017 to be lacking key features like online voice chat and game capture, the overall response that the Nintendo Switch is getting is actually rather positive. Even though that launch lineup is a little bit. Now, with the general media consensus being that despite the console being slightly expensive, that it is a true return to form for Nintendo, could it mean that the Nintendo Switch could possibly compete with the Xbox One and PlayStation 4? Sony have already carved themselves a huge lead, and in terms of games, at the moment they're pretty much the jack of all trades, especially when it comes to Japanese titles. And their exclusives sell fairly well on their console. But if there's any company with the potential to rival Sony at being a jack of all trades and being the home of Japanese games and having exclusives that sell well, it's definitely going to be Nintendo. Now, the Switch has only just been released, and we've already seen big name Japanese titles jump ship. And if it continues to sell well, especially at the rate it is now, there's no reason why we won't see other big name Japanese titles continue to jump ship from Sony to Nintendo. But I'm not gonna lie, Dragon Quest on Switch kinda runs like. So what does this mean for Xbox? Well, like Nintendo, the Microsoft Xbox has a handful of exclusives with die-hard fans that are waiting for the next iteration. And unlike the Nintendo Switch, it will be getting a ton of multi-platform support. And let's not talk about that power advantage.
Vegeta, what does the scouter say about his power level? It's over 9,000! What, 9,000?
But on the flip side, Microsoft as a company isn't as committed to gaming as Nintendo. They're more committed to the bottom line, and that usually means that they are not as committed to creativity as other companies. So we're more likely to see the same blockbuster franchises again and again because that is what brings in the bacon. And whilst Nintendo can be definitely guilty and accused of milking their franchises as well, they have a lot more franchises which are popular and bankable to pull from. And they've also had a generation of failure behind them with the Wii U. So hopefully they should have an all new strategy in line when it comes to bringing out games. Now, Microsoft still have a trap card in their Yu-Gi-Oh deck with Project Scorpio. But it's still too much of a mystery and an enigma due to the lack of information, and we still can't get that buyer's lust that we need just due to the fact of there's just not much that we know about it. And even though it promises to be more powerful than a PlayStation Pro, What's the real reason to upgrade? What's the real innovation behind it? How many new Xbox exclusive games are there in development? Now, to be honest, we're kinda still waiting on a couple of games that were kind of announced in 2014. Yeah, just thought I'd throw that out there. And as far as innovation, it's gonna need to do a lot more than just be a 4K machine. The attach rate for 4K TVs in households isn't the majority yet, and with the more popular PlayStation brand offering a cheaper alternative with more games, the Scorpio could have its work cut out for it as far as the 4K race is concerned. So the Scorpio is definitely gonna need to innovate more than just having 4K features. And as far as innovation goes, the Nintendo Switch is already doing that in spades. Having console quality games at home that you can take with you on a go has really been an underestimated experience, and I'm really glad that I'm taking part in that now. And that is something that, both Microsoft and Sony could have underestimated, which actually could catch up with them. But as always, it's going to come down to the games. And even though Microsoft hasn't been as serious lately about having exclusives, it's definitely going to have those multiplats that the Nintendo Switch just won't have. And with the Project Scorpio being announced, and if it lives up to the reputation Microsoft are hyping, it's going to have the best performing version of those games. Now, apparently, multi-platform titles and third-party developers are supposed to be things that Nintendo are actively working on. But I'm not gonna lie, judging by that launch lineup, it doesn't look like they're working hard enough. I don't know what to say. But even if it means Nintendo doubling down on their exclusive efforts, pumping out more exclusive games and titles just by themselves, and through contracting other third parties like Japanese ones, I'm not gonna lie, the Switch, that would still make the Switch an essential piece of gaming hardware for any gamer, and especially with it being so different from both the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One individually, it does really beg that secondary console space. So yes, people, let me know what you think about the Nintendo Switch's chances about competing with both the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. Do you think it has a chance? Me, I'm not gonna lie. So far, even though it's missing some features which I really love, like Game Catcher and all that good stuff, I'm not gonna lie, kind of a big fan at the moment. But I will go more into that during my review. But yes, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and all that great stuff. And yes, holla at your boy. Peace.